Martins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Grassroots Sweet episode. Today we don't have AK47. The man is in misery. Southampton has been doing -3 points, just giving it out for free, and it's not even Christmas. But today we have Tottenham's Karim. Oh yes, back on the 3 points. We have Mr. Thanos, not London's finest, and we have the always happy, always charming.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
And most of the time angry Mike N. But I wonder, I don't think he was that angry. I mean, didn't play so well, but managed to get a point out of Brighton. It was a wonderful weekend. I can't speak too much about how wonderful it was because it wasn't. And then we'll get into that. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Everybody doing well?
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Doing all right, man. Doing all right.
Okay, cool.
I'm good, man. Just before we start, JJ.
Yeah.
This everybody mocking Ronaldo celebrations. How do you feel about it?
I'll tell you how.
Is it a sign of respect or is it?
Well, now that you said that, though, Townsend claims this is a sign of respect. He said, Ronaldo is his idol. He never thought he would have the chance to play on the same pitch with him again, blah, blah, blah. But let's just keep it real. It is a total rubbish mockery that these guys are deciding to do and, take the piss out of Man United fans. But we understand. We understand. It happens. Playing with the best, and you decide, let me see if I can score a goal. But now that you've said that, we might as well just start at Old Trafford. I was going to talk about the top four and the musical chairs. I also remember in this group, nobody actually looked at Liverpool and said, "These guys might win the league." But before we actually go with Liverpool, I went to Old Trafford on Saturday, yay, so happy, got to Manchester, yeah, it's coming home. No, actually, we didn't think it's coming home, but we were happy. But then I had a conversation with some guys on our way to the stadium, and one guy pointed out that Solskjaer is actually lucky for two reasons. One, the only reason he still has a job is he's a club legend, and number two, one of the United, after getting rid of Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, want a bit of stability. And I mean, who better to give them than a club legend? But another thing we all agreed with was tactically, the man is falling behind. As always, I like to start with Steve, but this time I'll start with Karim. What do you think about Solskjaer's tactics?
He hasn't got it, to be honest. You look at some of the choices he's made from the beginning of the season, even last season, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. The Champions League one against Young Boys, for example, that wasn't tactically right. This weekend, I think I can understand he wants to play as many players as possible, but I believe you have got a strong 11, and I feel like if you start with that starting 11, I feel like things will be going in the right ways. I feel like I know we're drifting off topic, but looking at the game yesterday between Liverpool and Man City, you can tell them two are just in a league of their own at the moment, and no one else in the league, in my opinion, can touch them. And I thought, honestly, looking at paper, you guys should be able to touch them. But with that guy calling the shots at the top, unfortunately, I don't feel like you have got any chance.
But the thing is, so he started with Ronaldo on the bench, Pogba on the bench, and what I don't get is I can understand wanting to rest Ronaldo. Martial always has a good scoring record against Everton. He was back fit. Cavani needed minutes. I get that. But if you're resting these guys, why rest them thoroughly before an international break? Yes, you want to send them to their countries, fit, whatever. You don't want any argument. But so Ronaldo is 36. He can't play every game. He had played in the midweek game, played all 96 minutes. And all that. Martial actually started well. Martial had to come up because he was injured. But do you still just do a Mourinho and play your constant 11 on a steady, Mike?
You play your best team to win the game, to be honest. Where you can, you rest where you can. But if they go on international break, then what's the point? So, I mean, bring on Ronaldo and Pogba. If it gets a little bit peak, then take Ronaldo off. You still got strength of depth. But it's the same thing anyway. If you won, nobody would say nothing about Ronaldo not playing, but you didn't. You drew, and you probably should have lost. So it's always on a knife edge, isn't it? I would have played my best team regardless. But when you don't play your best team and then you don't get the 3 points, people are always going to say, well, why didn't you play Ronaldo? But I mean, you should be playing Ronaldo if he's fit. I mean, just give 40 minutes.
To be fair though, Man United played really well the first half. It was all Man United. Second half, were pretty much all Man United as well. Then our very good friend. See, this is one of the reasons that I think my problem I have with Solskjaer. You started the game, we're playing. There was only one player that was really, everybody was going, this guy, as usual, on forced errors. We know him.
Fred Flintstone.
Yes, Mr. Fred Flintstone. He's a diluted Brazilian because we don't understand where the skills are from. But he's making so many errors. And then you could even tell, usually you have Scott McTominay that covers up for him or somebody else that covers up for him. But Scott McTominay wasn't playing as great. So Fred is making too many mistakes. And as far as I'm concerned, it was his reason that it was because of him they scored. But why don't you take that kind of player out? That's number one. And number two, most managers, so the likes of Fergie, even Fergie with his great time, Fergie had Mike Phelan, Molliston, Quirez, all these guys at the time, McLaren. The example I always give people is Man United in 99, the Champions League against Bayern. Immediately Man United equalized 1-1. You could see McLaren shouting at Fergie that we need to switch to 4-4-2. So that tactics has already come from other people. But with Solskjaer, what's Carrick doing? What's Mike Phelan doing? They all just look like they just sit down and just go, well, this is a dream. What do you think? What do you think, Steve?
I got a laugh, mate. It's like I said, Solskjaer is the weak link for Man United, yeah?
He's the second weak link. Fred is the first.
No, Solskjaer is the first because Solskjaer picks Fred. So Solskjaer is the first. Yeah. At the end of the day, Solskjaer just needs to make a decision and have a strong base. Yes, you can rest players, but you don't need to rest them, especially as Mike said before an international break. And you don't need to make a lot of changes. You keep the core of your side strong. Yeah, there's a, how can I say? There's a thinking in football that, yeah, it's a squad game and all that business there. But all the teams that win the titles, they have a lot of the first 11 playing a lot of games, a lot of the time. Yeah,
but
if you
can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question? How come all of a sudden this season, Man United are now a one-man team? If Ronaldo doesn't play, suddenly they're not the team that finished.
But
they're not. Ronaldo's giving them belief that they can have that
Mike,
they can get over the line.
Mike is right and wrong at the same time.
You finished second last season without Ronaldo, and
which is why you're right. But last season we were still a one-man team with Bruno Fernandes.
So, but Ronaldo's giving them a belief, and the fact of the business that the other teams have done around them, Man United could actually finish like 4th or 5th. They still have to improve their level of performance, even though they finished second last season. But going back to your point about Solskjaer's coaches, I don't know what their man are doing. They're just chilling. I thought that I would expect Mike Phelan to be more vocal and actually kind of like basically running stuff, telling Solskjaer what to do.
I honestly don't know what Carrick and all these boys do, because they literally just look like, yeah, you know what? If we get like really serious injuries, you know, we could still play boss. And he's like, yeah. Just I don't know what they do there.
They look all baffled on the bench. They do look all baffled especially when Man United up against it. They don't look like. It looks like it's going to come from one of the players.
Because you haven't got a style of play. That's why they haven't got a style of play. They just put really good players on the pitch and go on, guys, just go and play. That's it. And then somebody pulls something out of the bag and then they win.
Yeah, they're not a team.
Yeah,
they're a team. No. They're a team of individuals.
So not to go into, speaking about sacking managers, Watford, man, those guys are trigger happy.
Right, yeah, he's back.
You could just sneeze and then go, huh? In the pandemic, you're gone. Those guys are trigger happy, getting rid of people. I don't see Man United talking about getting rid of Solskjaer and all that. However, there's this talk about, there might be, Ronaldo was upset, walking off the pitch, mumbling and talking to himself and yada, yada, yada. And Gary Neville pretty much pins that on the manager. It has to be the manager. You know, the manager has to manage that situation. The man is angry. He didn't score. Man United drew. He probably not happy that he didn't start. But Karim, if you're the manager of Man United, in terms of managing Ronaldo's fitness, would you play him every game, 36 years old, not as quick, not as fast? Would you burn him out, or would you rest him for certain games? Or would you have rested him against Everton?
That he do. He's got the body of a 28-year-old.
Yeah,
So
I
by
mean,
all
yeah,
means,
he reminds me of
mean,
me every time when I look at the
I
mirror.
wouldn't play him every game. I
What?
don't think he needs to.
I want someone what's in your glass.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Sorry,
So
Karim. Sorry.
me personally, I would play him probably 80% of the time, but he would be coming off the bench. So I understand, but in that instance, at 45 minutes, 50 minutes, you got to make changes.
Yeah, but to be fair to Solskjaer, Ronaldo came at the time Ronaldo and Sancho came in that game. We were still leading 1-0. We're still leading 1-0. We're still playing. We're still playing well. We zoned Everton out. Now, this is what happened was simple. Bruno Fernandes corner, the ball got headed out. Fred is running to the ball with and the same thing with Damari Gray. Fred is pretty much in front of this guy. All you needed to do was pass the ball or kick it out for throwing or whatever. He gets bodied twice by Damari Gray, the smallest guy on that pitch. Twice. And then Damari Gray, of course, Speedy Gonzalez pushes the ball. Takehiro sure has no chance, has to go across because Varane is up there for the corner. Townsend gets the ball on his right foot. We're thinking, okay, right foot, it won't be that bad. But he's right there in front of the guy, hits it, goal. Does a wonderful celebration out of respect for his idol. And then after that, it was Man United not Benitez way, compact, hit out, compact, hit out. Now, the problem now is this. We could argue one of the points that might go for Solskjaer is Man United always go a goal down, and before you know, we come back and win the game. Surely that is some positivity in terms of Solskjaer's tactics. Mike?
Is that a tactic then? Go one down and then come back and win?
No, not going one down, but clearly he can rally the boys to go and win most games. What happened last season.
But that's the Man United DNA, isn't it? That's the Fergie time thing. That's always been the case. That's not Solskjaer that does that. That's just what you guys historically have done. But bottom line is, you're playing a good team. You should have played your best team first and foremost, because Everton aren't no mugs. And then second of all, even though Fred Flintstone did that madness, that could happen. And to be honest, you could get back pass, but you still had time to turn it around. But you just couldn't unlock them because you just basically rely. There's no plan B. There's just somebody do something. Somebody score. That's all you do basically. And then on that occasion, nobody could step up and get that second goal. That's gonna happen to you all season. It's just you just.
I don't get this business about resting Ronaldo. He's an experienced professional. Play him as many minutes as possible. He can manage himself.
Yeah, but why is it about Ronaldo? Why can't?
No, I'm just saying if he's what they've picked as their main striker, play him. We're only, what 5-6 games into the season? Man, talking about resting. Nah, play him.
But why should it matter that he rested Ronaldo? What if Ronaldo was injured? Why can't Man United beat Everton with the players they've got?
Yeah, but you said even yourself that you would pick your best side.
Yeah.
So for me, Ronaldo, Pogba, they start in that Man United side. We're only 5-6 games in. I don't get the resting bit. No,
but I'm saying it's a bit of an excuse because they could have not been available for other reasons. So they've been rested is a conscious choice. Fair. I'm saying, let's say that they were unavailable for another reason.
Yeah.
Man United should still have enough in the tank to beat Everton. But now it becomes a story of we didn't win because we didn't have Ronaldo. But you're Man United, come on, man.
No, but I don't think I've gotten to the case of we didn't win because we didn't have Ronaldo, because we did have him on the pitch, even at 1-1. And there was chances created. Sancho actually looked like, to me, that was Sancho's best game of the season so far. Trying to run at players, trying to penetrate, and all that story.
I think Solskjaer doesn't know his strongest side and who plays where.
I don't think. I actually disagree in that for one reason. I think he doesn't trust any 11. So there are certain players, for example.
Oh, okay.
There are many games. Why play Fred and McTominay in a lot of games? That's because at a certain point he didn't trust his back four. Maguire, that he plays on a constant, doesn't have the pace to cover. I mean, I am actually a bit more confident in Varane and Lindelof in the past 2 games they've played. I know they have pace. I know they can cover. Lindelof can pass the ball.
Has Maguire not been playing?
He got injured. He got injured against
Young Boys.
No, not Young Boys.
The one before that.
Against Villa. Got injured against Villa.
Oh, okay.
Got injured against Villa. So, but he it's a case of trust, and then so going forward, striking, he probably would trust the Marshall, the Cavani, you know. On the right, he trusts Greenwood, but when it comes to that middle, which is what I don't understand, he hasn't done enough or seen enough from the team to actually go. So when you look at teams like, so Tottenham has Holberg, you know you can literally play that one guy in the middle, and everything will flow. Leicester has Ndidi and these other boys. You don't have to worry much. I mean, Arsenal, for the first 75 minutes, when Partey decides he wants to play, you have him there. So as a manager, you're not going, oh, okay, I'm worried. But when he looks at Fred and McTominay, which is why I don't understand why he didn't make any DMs on any buys on any DM. When he looks at those guys, he goes, I don't think this is not enough. I have to play those two guys. The same similar situation, Southgate, who always play Rice and Phillips in the middle. Everybody else can go and look for something else to do. I think it's a trust. I think it's a trust in the midfield. Yeah, but
so what's his options? Is it best? Should he switch to a back three?
Switch it. There's nothing wrong with switching formation and tactics when you depend on the team you're playing. I mean, it can happen. You can do that. I've never understood Pogba on the left. I don't get why he does that. Even if you're playing a diamond, why does he have to be on the left? So it just comes back. It comes back to what we're saying, man. Tactically, he's not, especially to finishing second. For him to go to the next, the improvement to that is either first or finishing second with more points.
The thing is, I think Solskjaer's problem is that he's seen as a nice guy, and I don't see him wanting to upset people like the players. So he always wants to be seen as the nice guy in the press.
Don't think that's the impression. The manager of Man United.
No, but that's the thing he has to learn. He has to tell people to sit down. I'm going to win the game, and that will determine. If he doesn't have that ruthless bit, then that will determine how successful he is.
Yeah, because what formation are you going to play? Pogba and Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo, Sancho.
That's exactly why you need one defensive midfielder, somebody you can trust.
But you're a bit open then, playing those two and Ronaldo, and then one guy. What? Fred?
Man United won't be the first. I mean, if you get somebody reliable, you won't be the first team to play three in the middle.
Yeah, but you got to have a good DM, which you don't have. So
yeah, so that's exactly what we're saying. So, anyways,
so what as a Man United fan and obviously going there on Saturday, what's everyone's opinion on Oli? Are they Oli in still, or
there's a good. It's not very vocal, but there's a good crowd of people that want Oli out
already.
Yeah, but the difference is that the difference now with Man United fans is. Well, the one thing going well for him is, as much as you go only out, tactically is not wonderful. He's a club legend. People actually want it to work. It would be so amazing if he actually lifts the trophy. So he hasn't got to the point that people are going, oh, we're going to march and raise pitchforks and go all out. He hasn't gotten to that point.
So why did you get rid of Giggs then that time when Giggs was?
No, Giggs was never going to stay. He was happy just being interim. He had said he was never going to stay.
Is it also a case of that? There's not a lot of managers available who would want to come and do the job.
For Man United,
be available. For Man United, they'll leave.
Man United, there'll be loads of managers that want that job. Loads.
Yeah, but like who?
Like loads.
Like who? Who's gonna leave where they are and want to go to Man United?
I can guarantee you now.
Brendan Rodgers will go.
I can guarantee you now. Brendan Rodgers will go. I can guarantee you now. If Man United,
Poch will go.
Thank you very much.
If they get leaving PSG to go Man United,
I can guarantee you now. First of all, Poch lost 2-0 to Rennes.
Yes.
Weekend, yeah. Mm-hmm. Imagine if PSG sacked Poch and Man United get rid of Solskjaer, Poch will so take that.
No. See, this is what he has. If they sack him, wait. No. You're saying if they sack him,
Daniel.
I want my job back. And Daniel will be like, Poch. Poch.
Listen, no, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about man leaving their current posts. I'm not saying if they get sacked. If they get sacked, that's different. Man needs a job, isn't it? I'm talking about if man leave if they're in their current post. Who's gonna leave?
In their current post, most managers will leave and go to Man United. Most.
Which elite one?
Elite one.
Yeah.
Allegri will leave you right now.
Pep, say again.
Obviously, Pep and Klopp.
No.
They're talking about Klopp, right? They're talking about Allegri will leave Juve right now.
Allegri
Coman will leave Barcelona right now. I mean, Barcelona
Would
is
you want
ninth.
Koeman? Would you want Koeman?
No, not really, no. But we're just talking about elite managers. Anyways, we shall see. Tactically, Solskjaer needs to improve. The international break will give him some time to think. Man United always from bouncing back every now and then, at least under Solskjaer's reign, when we least expect it. Now, moving on to what in my opinion, was the best game of the weekend, the Liverpool-Man City game. You could see the difference in level of that team.
That was a game.
That team. But first of all, there's one thing I want to talk about. Should Milner have been on the pitch?
Should have been sent off 3 times.
Time ago.
He should have been sent off 3 times.
So, man was moving like Dwayne out there. Man was doing like Dwayne move, mate.
So now the question.
Let him know I'm there.
The question is, Mike, a couple of weeks ago, you were talking about the rules are the rules. So the rules are the rules. Why Milner should have been sent off, in the first half?
Yeah, 2 bookable offences in the first half, both on Foden. And then the one on Bernardo Silva was another yellow card. So that's a 3. That's 3. And I didn't even watch the game live. That's what I've seen.
He was first of all, it was a very good game of football. No doubt. I mean, Bernardo Silva turned around.
Amazing.
He made Van Dijk touch the ground. You know when your hand touches the ground. Made Van Dijk touch the ground. But the player
I personally think Foden should have shot earlier on that chance, though.
Yeah, he should have.
Foden always plays well against Liverpool.
I went across goal as well.
Yeah, when Bernardo Silva done that dancing on ice business in the middle and then put Foden through, right? Foden should have shot first.
He was like Strictly. Like cha-cha-cha. Well, now the question is, Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah can easily walk into any team right now in the world.
Any team.
Any team right now, no argument. But now there's conversation about his contract at Liverpool. And Liverpool, a couple of weeks ago, not many people have said, these guys can win the league. But they had first half, they were played. They came back second half, energy. Robertson, as far as I'm concerned, should be drug tested. And that guy, because he just keeps going up and down, up and down. If Salah really wants to leave Liverpool, where would he go, Karim?
PSG.
I can see him in a Real Madrid shirt. I think I remember him saying a couple years ago that that's somewhere that he would admire to go. But look at him. He's won everything now. Champions League, Premiership. He hasn't won the FA Cup. No. So that's just on his to-do list, really. I feel like as a player of his caliber, I feel like he needs a trophy cabinet and as well as these things. So I can definitely see him at Real Madrid. I don't think Barcelona are going to be the team anymore, considering they're 9th, and I've watched them a couple of times and they're on a slow decline. So I feel like Real Madrid is definitely going to be one to watch, especially if Kylian Mbappe goes over there, Mo Salah will be over there. I feel like it's the next team, to be honest.
I mean, you mentioned how Barcelona look like they're in decline. Real Madrid don't look like they're doing anything wonderful either. I mean, they lost to Sheriff in the Champions League. They lost this weekend against Espanyol. They have not been looking like they're anything wonderful. I mean, Salah in Liverpool probably stands a better chance of winning the Champions League, for example, this season compared to being Madrid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
I'm talking about next year, though. I feel like he will definitely finish this season. But I feel like next season, they'll definitely starting to buy. I think Kylian Mbappe turned around and made a statement today saying that he did ask to leave PSG. And I feel like the only club he really wants to go to is Real Madrid. And if you look at them, they are slowly building. So yeah, I can see him in a Real Madrid shirt.
Yep. Mike, with the way the game went 2-2, wonderful football from both teams, and we're talking about Solskjaer not being as wonderfully tactically. Who do you think got the tactics? I mean, I know it was a draw, but when you look at that game and you go, which manager did you look at and say you read the game well and you made things work?
I think I think that City had the better. In the first half, they should have been out of sight, to be honest. There wouldn't have been any talking. But the players didn't execute for whatever reason, didn't finish the chances that they had. And then in the second half, Klopp galvanised the team and they came back. And then there was that contentious decision when really it should have went out to 10. So I think tactically speaking, Liverpool got away with it. I wouldn't say like Pep outdid Klopp, but he didn't finish him when he could. So I think it was a stalemate. I mean, tactically, I think they were par for par, but the players on the pitch and the referee decided that it was a 2-2. Because if the players had finished in the first half, that would have been it. Or if Mourinho gets sent off, that's also something that could happen. But between the two managers, I think it was pretty close.
One of the things I enjoyed about the game was that even towards the end, with Man City dominating in the first half, and then Liverpool come back in the second half, towards the end, City were happy to, you know what, sit back, then hit them on the counter. Sit back and hit them on the counter. But of course, the same question is going to continue popping up and popping up and popping up. 2 questions, Steve.
Yes and yes.
Yes, 2 questions. Everybody keeps talking about, Man City they definitely need a striker to win the league. They have Jesus. He's a striker. Why don't you just play him where he's supposed to play? Why you play him on the right? Yes, he created a goal and all that story. And the second question is, if I imagine let's just enlighten ourselves or entertain ourselves. And I know, yes, he hasn't scored in 7 Premier League games, but if Harry Kane was in that City team, do you think it would have been game over in the first half?
Yes. I think with Harry Kane there will be a different beast. Even though, yeah, he has Jesus, but I don't think he has faith in Jesus as an out-and-out striker, because he would just play him there. He wouldn't have bid for strikers. Simple as that, especially to that level of money. Yeah. Tactically against Liverpool, he got it right, Pep, because he played Foden. He could have easily gone with Grealish out on the left or Sterling, but he wanted someone with a bit of trickery and a bit of guile in getting behind the right back. And that really opened Liverpool up. But I think with Kane, there was a lot of instances where they had a hole in the middle. Somewhat a space that someone like Kane or Aguero they would occupy, even if it's to build, not to necessarily make a chance, but to bring it in to let the ball come into the centre and then go back out wide, instead of coming back and going round.
Last question though, everyone's talking about Harry Kane. Do we even really think that Harry Kane will actually fit City style of play? We're just taking Harry Kane at Tottenham and then magically plunking him in.
Okay, it doesn't have to be Harry Kane. Any half decent striker. Doesn't have to be Harry Kane. It's just someone who plays.
And Jesus is a half decent striker.
But he doesn't have faith in him. If he had faith in him as a striker, he would have just slotted him in there, and that's what he would have done. He would have said Jesus is replacing Aguero. But
the Harry Kane at the moment, because the Harry Kane at the moment, he ain't scored any goals. So
but the Harry Kane not sulking at Tottenham, and the Harry Kane galvanized at Man City playing under Pep is a completely different player.
To digress a little though, I don't actually think Harry Kane is sulking at Tottenham.
He's just playing whack, man. That's it. He's just playing whack. Simple things. He's playing whack. Simple.
So what's he doing? If he's not sulking at Tottenham, he's not playing as good.
It's playing whack. It's Karim coming.
His internet's dodgy. It's choppy. His internet's choppy. He can't hear us.
Karim, what's happening with Kane? What's happening with Kane?
I'm waiting for his cat to walk across the screen.
I would like to argue the fact that he normally does have a slow start, but
no. You say that every week. Let's clear this up. His slow start always means he doesn't score in August. That is it. Yeah, and he broke that. He broke that voodoo last season.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. So slow start, 7 games, no goal. He's scoring in the Europa League though. Sorry, Conference League.
Respect on it.
Bring back Troy Parrott. And listen, but listen though, Kane was playing whack. Didn't play that well for England either in the Euros. He didn't play that well.
But he still scored 3 goals.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing well though, was he?
Yeah, but
wait.
Once they score, that's it.
But where's it, right? He's a professional. He's a professional, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had an opportunity to go. He wanted to move to probably the best club or one of the best clubs in Europe, right? Playing for one of the best managers in Europe.
Yep.
Yeah, and a chance to win, really compete for the league and the Champions League. That move don't go. Where's it?
Any trophy.
Any trophy. That move doesn't go through, right? Even if he had a gentleman's agreement with the club, with the chairman or whatever, that move doesn't go through. He's going to be upset by it. He can say professional and stuff,
100%.
yeah, but he'll be upset by it. It's
He
about
would,
career
I mean,
progression.
he will be upset, but we can't use him being upset as a reason for his goal drought.
But he's missing chances. What? So what? You think he's missing on purpose or what? He's
No,
missing.
not missing on purpose, but his performance is not going to be to the level as if that move was never on the cards.
Okay,
It's
but
anybody.
yeah, but when
you got say for example, you go and buy a house, the house falls through, you don't get it. For a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you're going to be unhappy that the thing didn't go through.
It doesn't mean I'll be homeless.
Yeah, it's not that you're homeless. It's not that you're homeless. It doesn't mean that you're going to go and set fire to your own
Let me
house.
ask you a question.
Yeah, but you're not going to be totally happy because you missed out on something.
All right, so JJ, yeah, TikTok come in and turn around and say, "I'm going to double your salary."
£10 a week.
Come over. Your company turn around and say, "No." Are you going to put in as much work as you wanted to, considering you never got that move?
It depends. Why would they say no though?
Because we value you as a player and we don't want to let you go.
Stats.
Okay, so first of all, that example, Karim.
Why? It's exactly the same.
No,
It's not. It's football, mate.
It's football. You can't use real life jobs to.
Why can't, no, wait. Why
That's
can't
his
you
job.
use real?
Okay, wait.
His job.
Okay, let me put it this way. Probably, I guess you guys don't play football because if you're through on goal, yeah, to score, Harry Kane ain't thinking, "Oh, that fucking Levy didn't let me go."
No, it's not thinking like that. It's not thinking like that.
thinking
You're
like
not going to think like that.
He's missing chances.
No,
but
but
he's
you're
missing
not
chances.
His heart's not going to be in it. He's probably not going to train as much.
But what about the chances he's missing? Forget about not being the right.
I mean, as Mike says, he gets a lot of chances,
and he's missing them.
And he's missing them. So how does that have to do with him not getting a chance to go somewhere?
It's not. It's because you're lower in spirits, isn't it?
Leave it, man. With your flipping armchair psychology. The game's just not playing well.
It's got no armchair psychology. People, listen.
I know where you're coming from.
People have to understand, right? You're a professional. You're doing a job, right? Football, cleaner, whatever it is, it's a job, right? If you lose out on something, human nature kicks in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to give that. You don't want to give. It's not saying he's running for on goal thinking, "Oh, Daniel Levy screwed me." No, right? His desire, he's not going to be as hungry as if he
I'll use Karim's example. Mm-hmm. I'm in a job, another company comes and says, "We'll give you, I don't know, we like what you do, we'll give you an extra 50 grand."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Whoa, yeah." My company comes and says, "We value you." Now, number one, since Tottenham told Kane they value him, have they increased the money to what City would have given him?
We don't know.
So, new contracts in the pipeline, apparently.
All right. So
which kind of pipeline?
But it's not just about. But this is not just about money, though.
Thank you. That's about money. That's number one. So now, engineer, project managers, blah blah. That's all. Let's say that's what we're doing, right? So I can understand an engineer going, "Wow, this guy told me they value me. Yet my contract's in the pipeline. You know what? I'm not just going to put my mind to it. I'm not going to build engineering designs as good as I used to. I'm not going to, when I go for meetings, I'll be quiet." I get that. But now when you bring it back to football, as Mike has said, the man, first of all, the man is a striker. Mm-hmm. He has been getting chances. So it's not a case of, he couldn't even control the ball. He doesn't look like he's there. He has been getting chances, one-on-ones and things that he will bury normally. Are you telling me that he's so upset that when he gets in front of the keeper, he's like, "You know what? Let me actually aim the bar"?
No, he's not doing. He's not doing a William Gallas and say he's going to score an own goal. He's not doing that, right?
But he did. I mean, he did assist Saka's goal in North London.
Yeah, it's not that he's going to fluff things on purpose, but his level of commitment and desire to Tottenham will drop. All right. Let's keep it simple. Forget bringing in other clubs. A normal everyday person, yeah, they get promised. They get even just something simple like a pay rise or promotion, right? They don't get it. How does that person feel in the same job for the next 3 or 4 months? They're gonna be down. It doesn't mean they're not gonna turn up to work. They're going to turn up to work, right? But they're not. They're just gonna do the bare minimum. That's most people.
Mike, Modric last season on Tottenham, one of his best, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
What happened before that? Was he allowed to leave?
No. So,
but he had one of his best seasons. Okay. Salah, Liverpool. got angry, wasn't made captain, blah, 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 blah. There was talk that he wasn't going to sign. Barcelona wanted him. This is before Barcelona start their decline. What does Salah do? Still highest goal scorer. Look at what he's doing now. So this excuse of the player's mind isn't there because they didn't want them to go.
He's just not playing well.
No.
Let's just
but
keep it as it is.
JJ, but you can't apply the same thing to every person. Every person's different and how they react.
But Steve,
This thing about football, this thing about footballers, right? It's football. You can't apply the same thing to football. It's their job.
No. Well,
It's their job. They go work to do
But
job.
we're talking about Harry Kane here. That's supposed to be an angel professional.
That's what the media want you to believe.
Listen, forget all this Freud bollocks about professionals, not professionals. The bottom line is, the guy's playing his sport. Yeah, we all play sport. He's through. He's not gonna. If he's missing because he's not playing well. And yes, I agree that there is an element in terms of some of his play that he's upset. But we're talking about the time when he's in a good position to score. He's not playing well and he's missing. He's not playing well because of. But when you're in front of goal, you've missed because you've missed. You can't.
But why is he not playing well?
Why is he not playing? Why is his form not going to be?
But his form been like this from. His form been like this from the Euros. Mel's missing one-on-ones in the Euros. It's not
and how is his behaviour coming up to the preseason?
I don't watch your preseason, mates. I don't know.
Okay, but how was his behaviour? No, the whole media, the whole.
No. Listen, I agree that he's going to be.
Wasn't going to training sessions.
I agree that
he missed 1 week, Karim.
But this man.
Which he claimed.
No, but hold on.
Which he claimed was an agreement between him and the club for him.
Yes, he's got the hump, right? We all agree he's got the hump with Levy and Tottenham, and who wouldn't? To be fair, I agree. Yeah, but. In the prism, in the heat of the moment, when he's on the pitch and he's in a good position, none of that matters. Yeah?
Yes, it does.
What, when you're through and goal, you're worrying about what happened? You're not.
You're not worrying about it. But what this whole saga has put him, has affected his form. Because Harry Kane was talking about Man City before the end of last season. He'd done the interview with Gary Neville and all that business that Kevin De Bruyne I would love to play the same team as Kevin De Bruyne.
That was after the season. That wasn't before the season ended.
Before the Euros.
So when he scored 3,
his head is Man City.
But hold on, he scored a hat-trick the other day.
Yeah.
So when he wants to put goals in, he can't he? He scored 3 goals against.
Mike, no one is saying that Harry Kane is standing on the pitch and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna miss this chance because Dan Levy screwed me over and stopped me from going Man City." I'm not saying that. Okay. What I'm saying is the whole Man City saga has affected his form, and he hasn't shaken it yet.
But he scored a hat-trick,
and
that goes against your point.
How does it go against his point? I didn't say he can't play. I didn't say he can't play football. I said it's affected his form.
So
yeah. Whereas Harry Kane might have had 10 goals, he's got 3 or 4.
Steve and Karim, I agree, is affecting his form. Could just answer this question though.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he keep scoring in the Conference League and then he doesn't score in the league? If his form
we all know. Come on, man. That league is what? League's what?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm not even whatever in it. I don't know.
Arsenal bag West Brom 6 in the Carabao Cup. What are they doing?
Okay. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
If you want to bang 3 goals in, he can.
Okay. Right. So
I can bang 3 goals in.
So no, I don't. But anyway, yeah. So like Aubameyang, yeah, he ain't had no transfer saga going to Man City, yeah. Man's playing the same whackness that Kane's doing. Man's not scoring much in the league, but he was scoring against some no-mark team in who do we play? Wimbledon. He scored a couple of. I think he scored a hat-trick actually against Wimbledon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't had the Man City the saga. But it's the same principle. He's not on form.
He scored against Tottenham though.
Yeah, same thing. Wimbledon, Tottenham. What's the difference? Yeah. Come on. Yeah. But the point is, he's not on form. So it's the same level of performance from Aubameyang that Kane.
Okay. We're gonna keep going around in circles with Kane. Let's go back to the Liverpool Man City game. So have we seen from that game and from what we've seen and the standard that was displayed, are we saying one of those two is going to win the league, or are we still sticking to Chelsea outdoing one of them? Steve,
I said Man City, but Chelsea's definitely in the mix. Definitely in the mix.
Mike.
Still going Chelsea, man.
Still going Chelsea and Karim.
It's the top. They're the top three. Who wins it? I'm still undecided at the moment. But after yesterday, I must say that was a good. That just shows the levels of the Premiership at the moment.
I mean, in terms of statistics, Timo Werner has had 16 goals disallowed by VAR. That just, in terms of talking about confidence and all that story, that is a player that shouldn't be able to pull at this particular point in time, because the man, anything he does, but
16. Wow.
Yeah, but he did score finally, and Lukaku hit the bar. So would we say? I mean, we have said this before that Lukaku was a missing piece, and if Werner can decide to, or can actually come back into the goal scoring, which he scored against Southampton, so they're looking like. I mean, Southampton, yes, did get a red card, and then Chelsea took the advantage. But in terms of comparison, the reason I'm asking is I like the musical chairs the top four are playing. It looks like 1 week this person. I mean, Man United is pretty much fourth now. Solskjaer, bad tactics, Fred's wonderful errors. But Liverpool and City, and Man City had a very tough week. They beat Chelsea, lost to PSG, and they drew with Liverpool. So I mean, and playing those guys it must bring out the best in you.
All away from home as well.
Yep, all the way from home. So we can agree that if Liverpool can play the way they play in the second half, it's looking like they might actually be not just talked about but being in the top four, but actually winning the Premier League. Well, we move on. We shall see what happens. It was an interesting weekend for football. And now we want to talk about the Asian dominance in the Premier League.
Dominance.
Yes, dominance, man. These boys are on fire. Let us start with the North London. In a wonderful Japanese right back, center back, and his name is Tomiyasu.
What?
AKA Tommy.
AKA Tommy. Why one of those? What do you mean, AKA Tommy? One of the.
No, that's apparently what his nickname is at the club already. Tommy.
It sounds like one of those. What's your name, mate? And he says his name.
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah,
so Tommy.
yeah. You know what? We'll call you Tommy.
That's it.
We're talking about Takehiro Tomiyasu. So now, is this going to be one of those situations where this guy starts really wonderful and then all of a sudden starts backing down? Does he actually look like the real deal? Karim, let's start with you, the enemy of my enemy, when it comes to Arsenal.
He looks like he's very commanding, and it's what Arsenal really needed, to be honest. He does look very good, and that's as much as I want to say about him at the moment.
Is he better than
you know what? Lost respect for you. Lost all respect for you. I always big up Song. I said
he was what? It's 5 games, bro. 5 games. I'm saying he looks good.
Is he actually better than Bellerin? An informed Bellerin?
Of course.
After 5 games.
You can't say
even before he stepped foot on the pitch, I knew he'd be better than Bellerin. Bellerin's dead at the moment.
At the moment.
For a long time.
Why do we always forget the things that these players have done? Look at David De Gea. Now everybody's loving David De Gea. David De Gea is back.
Who said that?
You did. Everybody here.
No, I didn't. I know I didn't.
Steve can't even look me in the eye, man.
Even Steve said what? No. Even Steve said what?
Steve can't even look me in the
eye.
No, even Steve said what?
One good game. One
good game.
2 good games then.
That guy automatically saves documents where you walk, man. Is that good? He saves everything.
This guy's an idiot.
That saves everything. You don't know that guy. So, Tomiyasu, 22 years old, wonderful buy. There was a bit of a joke when he was signed, and Sky Sports were like, "Oh, on FIFA, he looks wonderful." When a lot of people didn't know where he was playing, but it looks like the real deal. Looks commanding, energy. 22-year-old Japanese. If he stays injury free, do you see him actually? Because they say he can play centre back with that energy and that enthusiasm and looking like he's wonderful. Do you think he can solve the partnership in Arsenal, say him and Ben White instead of Gabriel? And because the Arsenal defenders have been going from form here, form there, but you don't see him playing as a centre back, Steve.
No, I see him. If you play in a back 3, he'll be right centre back, but he would in the back 4. He's the right back. He adds that support to Ben White aerially and as a get out ball, and he's got the energy to go up and down. The one question mark that I have over him from what I've seen is if he's up against a tricky left winger and how he deals with the chopping and change of direction and dribbling. But apart from that, I think he seems to be built for the league. He's quick, he's got a good touch, he's good in the air, physically strong. So the majority of sides he'll play against, he should be okay. But as I said, against that tricky left winger, see how he plays. Someone smart, like even a Foden. Someone who's it's not all it's about. They'll play different styles to their game. 1 minute they'll give it short, then they'll run it behind. See how he is with that.
Mike, what do you think about Karim's 5 games assessment in the terms of it's only just 5 games? So
Yeah, well, I think we've seen enough in those 5 games to know that he's the best right back that Arsenal have got at the moment, because the comparison is what?
he's the okay, I was going to say he was only
Cedric, Chambers, and Bellerin. Come on.
Man, those are world-class defenders right there.
The one thing I don't know how good he is crossing, but I don't see Arsenal needing that. So boy,
he's better than all those 3, so it's not gonna say really. You know what I mean?
When's the last time the Premier League had a Japanese player?
probably at Arsenal and he never played.
No, he wasn't Japanese. I think he was from
Yep,
was
Inamoto was very Japanese.
Oh, in the most you're talking about, I think you're talking about another guy. I think you're talking about Park.
Yeah, he played no games, pretty much.
And then went to Fulham.
Where's the Liverpool guy that they bought a couple of years ago? Where's he from?
Minamino.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's Japanese, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's Korean as well, I think.
South Korean.
Yep.
He don't play either, hardly, does he?
Yep.
He went
to Southampton on loan last season.
He's
But
back
then-
though.
Yeah, they look like the good thing about it, like the Asian players that keep coming out, is that I like that high energy. When you look at Son at Tottenham, who is the second best player right now in Tottenham. I mean, Hallberg
Who's the first?
Hallberg is number 1.
Okay.
Since last season, the same thing. Son has started going shy in certain games. I mean, he's like, oh my God, I don't think I can do
Karim,
it.
defend your man then. You're just there looking at me.
He knows what I'm saying is true. He knows what I'm saying.
Never defending his team, he's there.
But the thing is the Korean Japanese high energy, I got that respect when they played the 2002 World Cup there.
Yeah, that was sick.
The energy those teams brought to that competition was nuts. For 90 minutes, they could outrun anybody. So to see their players come to the league, they could easily hang physically and be with the up and down and stuff like that. High-paced league is not a problem.
Well, speaking about high energy, we'll go from Japan to South Korea in a certain player that Wolves have managed to get. So now the good thing about this is that this guy is an RP Leipzig player. He's on loan in Wolves, and he has been in RP Leipzig for some time, and he has gone on loan like 3 times. In terms of statistics and goal ratio, him being at Wolves, 3 goals in 4 games has actually been his best. But he looks like another high energy, high pace, can keep running, and him and Jimenez in their last game look like they have a good understanding. Jimenez look like he's back to form, assisting and scoring goals. Once again, is this just beginner's luck, or do you actually see him going on to do great things? Let's start with Karim. Karim will have an insight. Just Son would have told him 1 or 2 things about this guy.
Yeah, I feel like he will have an impact, man. Definitely.
What we're talking about Son here, though. We're talking about Hwang Hee-chan.
He's frozen. I'm waiting for the cat to come again.
I don't know much about him, to be honest.
Nah, to be honest, I think how well he does depends on Jimenez. If Jimenez, say again.
Why just Jimenez?
Obviously the team, but I think if him and Jimenez establish a good relationship, then he'll perform really well. Because looking at what the couple of games that I've seen this season so far, as you said, they look like they got a good understanding building up. And Jimenez, could set him up for quite a few opportunities. And the couple he scored the other day looks like he can finish. So
why is it always the case, Mike, that when it comes to taking a chance on unknown players or players that haven't really done much, you never see the big teams doing that? Why do you always see? I mean, they do it sometimes, but they always do it with players that people have made so much noise about. But why do you see when it comes to like certain players over the past years, they first go to the Wolves and the Tottenham to prove themselves, and before you know, boom, somebody picks them up. Why is that always the case?
Well, that's where, first of all, this guy Hwang Hee-chan was sick on FIFA last year, by the way. He scored me bare goals. So I already knew about him from time.
All right. Before Wolves,
Yeah, before Wolves knew, I knew. Yeah, before Ultimate Team, sick player. Anyway, look, go back to the point. So when you go to if you go to a Man United or a big team, you're in the top 6, you're going to get limited minutes, in my opinion. You're probably going to get limited minutes, or you have 1 or 2 games and you don't get to get ground running. That's it. You're kind of frozen out for a little while. There's also a lot more competition. If you go to a mid-tier, you're going to get more opportunities and more time. So like for now, if he didn't score after 3 or 4 games, he'd still be right because he's still, the mid-tier team. If he goes to Man United and doesn't score after 3 or 4 games, who knows when the next time he's going to get a chance. So it's kind of like what we talked about last week or week before. We talked about, what's his name, the geezer with the dreads for Newcastle. Saint-Maximin. Was it? Yeah, that maybe he should go to just a higher club first, prove that he can do it, and then go to a next step. So if he plays well in this club, either he'll go back to his original club or somebody else will snap him up. So it's like a testing zone, kind of. Unless the scouts know that this guy is the next Messi or something, they're not going to take a chance with him. And more time, even if he goes to a big club, what would they do? Probably loan him out anyway. So what's the point?
Well, we should see how he goes. It looks like he started really well. I like when over the years, in terms of Asian players, you always have 1 or 2 there. But in terms of people that actually start for their team, Son obviously has been wonderful for Tottenham. But it's good that you have the likes of Tomiyasu, you have Hwang Hee-chan, and hopefully, they don't treat them like certain clubs treated Inamoto. Just bought the man to sell shirts. My God.
Inamoto or Paji song?
Park Ji-sung is.
I'm surprised he didn't mention it. He's a legend.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to rub it in you guys. I mean, the most underrated footballer ever. 4 Premier League, 1 Champions League, 1 Super Cup, 1 FA Cup. Oh my good God! You know what? I tell you what. Let's play this game. Call an Asian player that's played for you and mention what they have won. let's do it. Let's play that game. Let's play that game. I will see what happens. But in terms of underrated, man, what do we think about Brentford? Look, I mean, they have this. I won't lie to you, man. Norwich have started the season looking like they just came to increase their wage bill and then it will go back down at the end of the season. But Brentford is looking like they're here and they want to stay. I mean, they lost to Brighton at home, but then since then they beat Wolves away. They beat Oldham, of course, in the cup 7-0. They drew 3-3 with Liverpool, and then they beat West Ham 2-1. I guess, yes, I know it's just 7 games and a lot of things can happen through the season, but we should be able to say that if they continue playing the way they're playing, they should stay up. Mike?
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we said about Sheffield Wednesday, United, whichever one it was. They were brilliant the first season, killing people with that new formation. They stayed up first season, and it's the season after that we have to worry about. But for this season, I think they've got enough in the locker, unless they get some mad injuries, that they'll get the 40 points they need.
What do you think about their striker, Ivan Toney?
Yeah, he was an animal.
I think they work well as a 2. I think he's a very good player, but they work very well as a 2 together. I do think he's got the skills to play up top on his own in the league. But definitely as a 2, they're more potent and give opposition a lot more problems. And he seems to have a lot in his game where it's not about him. So he will sacrifice himself to create chances for others. I think Brentford will comfortably stay up this season.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I said what they do past this season is how they invest, how they adapt and stuff. Because the thing what hurt Sheffield United is they lost players that they got on loan, and a couple of key players got injured, and they couldn't replace them, and then that was it. They didn't adapt.
Karim, what do you think they'll finish above Tottenham?
I don't know. How are you asking me that question?
I just want to know. I just want to know.
When Tottenham currently sit above Arsenal, bro.
That's true.
I'm just asking. And
they won't finish above Tottenham, no.
Will they finish above Arsenal?
Nah, they won't.
I like the way you answered that quicker than you answered the Tottenham one, though.
It's the truth.
I tell you, one thing that will surprise me is if Ivan Toney stays there after this season.
Yeah, because he looks really good, man.
He looks like he's ready for the. He looks like he could do a job at so-called bigger clubs.
So I like that you brought that up, but then at the end of the day, our strikers judged on goals, so he's playing well. He's holding up.
Not Firmino. He's not judged.
Yeah, but Firmino was never working. First of all, Firmino came with the reputation of being high pressing. He didn't come with a goals reputation. Klopp actually bought him because he felt from the high press, this guy will fit my team. You knew him in Germany. This guy is, his percentage in terms of winning balls back when he was at Wolfsburg is probably one of the highest they'd ever seen in Germany. So Klopp knew what he was buying this guy for. I need somebody that can hold the ball in the middle and play in my other forwards, which is exactly what he did in the first 2-3 seasons with Liverpool. But Ivan Toney is a top 9. Big guy, good with his feet, can score headers. But then,
wait, hold on. So, where does Firmino play? He plays up front or not?
He plays in the pivot in the out of the 3.
So he's not playing as a striker, no?
No.
He's like a false 9.
Pretty much.
So, as pundits or opposition players or whatever, what we're going to judge him on his assists or what? What's his purpose? Because
his purpose is to facilitate Salah and Mane.
He was. You see, I like the good thing about that is when he was doing it and Salah and Mane were banging in goals and they looked like and they won the league, nobody cared. The moment they had a bad season, that's when everybody started remembering, oh wow, this guy doesn't score as much, or maybe if he had scored more, we'll be doing better. So now, obviously, they switched it up. They now interchange between Jota, Mane, and Salah running across those lines, and they're probably going to score more goals. So now the argument could be Klopp has changed his way of playing to score more goals. But Firmino
Jota scores. But
Jota doesn't play the way Firmino plays, though. It's a very different style of play.
Firmino was an outball for Liverpool. They could not, if they had to, they could push it up to him and he will hold it, and then the rest of the team can come forward. At the moment, they don't have that.
So if he doesn't score any goals this season, Klopp will be happy if they win the league, whatever. But in terms of judging the player, you're saying that everybody else would just say, well, it doesn't matter because he's not there to score goals.
That's what they were saying. That's when they won the league. That's what they were saying.
Right.
But what will we say? I know what Klopp says because Klopp wants him to do that. But I'm just saying, Golden Boot, pundits, all of that stuff, full of the year. Everybody else other than Klopp, what would they? How would they judge Firmino?
It depends. I would judge him is did he do what his manager wanted him to do, and that's yes. So
you're sitting there in the team talk from clubs talking, yeah.
I'm confused. Are you asking questions to just make sure?
But you're talking. I'm just asking you. You're acting like you're acting like you're there.
Your question is what do you think? I've told you what I think, but then you're asking me questions going against what I've thought. I'm confused.
No, okay. No, I get it. But basically, what you're saying is you're saying. I think I want your opinion. I don't want you to tell me what you think Klopp thinks. I'm asking you, Julian.
I just told you what I think. I think he has done what the manager asked him to do. So
you don't know what the manager wants him to do, though, do you?
Everybody knows what the manager wants to do. He has said it a million times.
So you're telling me that Klopp don't want him to score? He has said that a million times. So Klopp said, look, Firmino, don't score. Don't score, Firmino. Firmino, don't score.
Your argument.
No, okay. Klopp said,
the argument is what you should do, Mike, is
don't score.
Wear different shirts and then talk to yourself in the mirror and then just argue with yourself. Argue yourself there. That's the question. I've answered you, but you're not happy with the answer, so you're arguing again. What are you arguing for?
It's ridiculous.
What is ridiculous? What is ridiculous?
That you're telling me that Klopp's happy for this guy not to score? Impossible.
In his first season, he scored less than 10 goals, but he had Salah and Mane that scored over 20.
Okay.
No complaints. They won the Champions League. Not one soul complained. Nobody said, "Oh, Firmino."
I know players. I know fans. I know Liverpool fans that have always said that they want an upgrade to Firmino because he doesn't score enough. So who's this nobody?
Well, he doesn't score enough. That's fine.
Oh.
But that's their opinion. My opinion is based on what I've seen him play and how he brought everybody else.
So it's not nobody then, is it?
What are you? I don't understand.
Because you're generalizing and saying nobody complained. No. You are happy with it.
But the thing is,
the question you asked was
who are Liverpool fans?
The question you asked was what the pundits and media and everybody say. I don't know what Liverpool fans say. What's my problem with Liverpool fans? I'm telling you what the pundits and everybody else that we watch say. Nobody complained.
So what were you judging, man? What were you judging, man? End of the season, what were you judging, man?
First of all, he's not even playing. We talked about Ivan Toney. You went to Firmino. Answer the Ivan Toney question.
I answered a long time ago.
Which was?
I don't remember when the answer was, but
you don't even. How did he answer? How did he answer a question? How do you answer a question?
The thing is with Firmino, right? A lot of people talk about Firmino, right? And they want to upgrade on Firmino. You get an upgrade on Firmino, Liverpool have to sacrifice the way they play at the moment, and it takes away from Salah and Mane. They have a tactic. It works when Firmino's going on, and as JJ says, people are as his contribution to the team.
Okay.
His contribution to the team. That's it.
Which is what?
If the team's successful, no one judges any independent person apart from a striker.
So you're judging. Sorry.
What do they judge a central midfielder? Wait. Forget Firmino.
No, but
what do they judge a central midfielder?
That's the argument.
No, what do they judge central midfielder on?
So what you're saying is we're going to judge Firmino purely on whether Liverpool win. So if Liverpool win, Firmino played well.
So I'm confused. Stop asking all the questions. What do you judge him on?
No, Firmino's job is to be a false nine. So false nines don't already score goals.
No, Mike, what do you judge? Mike, what do you? Mike, what do you judge? You judge him on assists.
I say my assists in the build. Yeah, in the build-up play.
Okay. Well, considering the fact that he doesn't even start for Liverpool now, what are you judging him on now? Because he doesn't start. He doesn't even play. He has only come in for the past 3 weeks. Till he does. What are you judging him on?
Well, I judged him last year, assists and things.
But that's last year. We're talking about this year.
I can only judge when he plays.
What are you judging him for?
I can only judge when he plays, right? But
you're asking us to judge a player that hasn't played yet, but you're asking us what we'll judge him on when he plays.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll tell you when he plays. Well, for now, okay, thank you.
Right.
So now back to Ivan Toney. If he does, how many goals does he need to score and all that, being a top striker before it bigger? Since you're so sure that he probably wouldn't stay if Brentford goes down, or whether they go down or not, the other teams will come for him. How high up do you think he can go? And will he be judged on, obviously, the way he plays now for Brentford is to score. So will he be judged on just goals?
Yes, he will be judged. He will be judged on goals because he's an out striker. He will be judged on goals. Considering that he scored 30 plus last season in the Championship.
The level is different, though.
No. I know the level is different. There was rumors in the summer about if people will go in for him and go for one of the better clubs in the Premiership. I just think that he's at a level that he can improve certain sides. Could he go to a West Ham? Yes, I think he could play up front for West Ham. Could he replace Jamie Vardy at Leicester?
Will he replace Antonio though?
The thing is, they're very.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. But you could have them easily switch in and out because they're both players that could play up front on their own, in my view.
I feel like nobody
they could also play as a two. Yeah, I just think that he's, from what I've seen so far, last season and what I've seen this season, how he settled into the league, I think he could handle himself as a striker at any club outside the top 8.
Yeah,
probably top 6.
And I feel that the reason that nobody went in for him is this is basically the safety net, really, isn't it? Really, to see how he does perform within this team. And the fact that he has had a kicking off start, are guaranteed in September, not September, in the summer when the season's over. People are going to start knocking on Brentford's door to see even if they don't go, even if they do go down, that's quids in. But if they stay up, it's still going to be like, yeah.
It's difficult to judge, in my opinion, to judge strikers that play for the so-called
lesser clubs,
lesser teams, because supply, quality of play, yada yada yada, all that story. But then I feel they have to even show more to their game than just scoring goals. However, you could show a lot to your game and not score, and that could affect you. Because I mean, everybody these days is all about statistics, and certain clubs are just going, oh, how many runs did you make? But for example, if you look at the likes of Ollie Watkins and how he was playing for Brentford, I think Dean Smith gave him a chance because he had played under Dean Smith before. But with Ivan Toney, though, unless if somebody gives him the chance, if it's not just, I mean, like Pookie, for example. Pookie was scoring loads of goals, came up in Norwich the first time, scored over 10 goals, and had a bit of a drought. I think he scored, 14 to 15 goals. But I really didn't see anybody going, you know what?
Clubs will look at other things.
No, but Tony looks built for the league. Tony looks like he can handle himself. He's good in the air. He's got a good touch. It will be interesting to see him play as a one up top on his own. And how he holds the ball, and how if he can hold it and bring the midfielders or people further away from him into the game. At the moment, he's playing as one of the two, so they're closer together.
But surely, any of the clubs, or any Premiership clubs, can look at two things. Firstly, whether that person suits their style of play, and then or their plan B, if that's what they want to do. And the second thing is they're going to look at all of their stats. So, like JJ says, how many yards they run, their movement, all of that stuff. As well. So then that also is going to come into play depending on those two things. Certain clubs might go in for him, and certain clubs might not go in for him, because they've already got somebody coming through the youth ranks or whatever. Then it's not that he's not good enough. It's just that they've already got somebody to fill that position. If that makes sense.
In this stats crazy world, I wonder how Berbatov would have done today.
Mate, there's a lot of players that wouldn't cut it. Forget Berbatov. People like Bergkamp wouldn't have gone nowhere, Jack.
Yeah, Beckham moved around a lot.
But it was goals and assists for him, isn't it? Goals, assists. What's the other one? Meaningful passes, whatever it's called, that sort of thing.
A lot of players wouldn't cut it.
But they were attacking players. So.
What they do in training, judges when they play on Saturday. So I don't like to treat so.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because a comment come out today from Rafa Benitez about James, didn't it? He said that he wasn't a.
He wasn't. He said, it wasn't a good trainer. He wasn't training as hard. Yet he wanted to play. But that also shouldn't that come down to the certain managers? I mean, like Henry once said, Ray Parlour was never a good trainer. But you know, when this guy plays 90 minutes or when he plays a real game, he will give you everything. See, that comes down to the man management thing we're talking about. So Wenger can look at him and just go, I know this guy, if I put this guy on the pitch, all this messing about would just end.
Is that because he was already a starter a lot of the time? If you're trying to break into the team, for example, you're not a regular starter, can you afford not to train well to get in?
But Benitez came to Everton and saw, obviously everybody could see what James Rodriguez did last season. I know it's a different style. First of all, it's a different style he wants to play, compact. Doesn't like all this. He likes the Demarai Grays and the Townsend, those kind of guys. So already, even if Rodriguez was running a marathon every morning, there is no way Benitez would have played this. I don't even know what he's saying, because he looked at him and just went, this guy is not my style of player, pretty much. And then, as you say, sometimes the players just know and go, there's no point.
He called Solomon Rondon. Come back, Jack.
Can you imagine?
Come on. So Rodriguez ain't got no chance, bro. He called his brother Rare from Japan. Come on, come back.
Well, it is all good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to an end of statistics, questions about the future, like what Harry Potter, I was supposed to judge a player in the future.
You have to judge. You have to answer.
Minority Report.
Not them fake answers, man. Like some Yeah.
Minority Report. What will this guy do in the future?
Look your crystal ball, JJ. Look, rub it.
What did
Rub
you
the
judge him on
crystal
last
ball.
year?
Rub the crystal.
Okay. What did you judge him on when he was playing?
What did I judge him when he was playing?
When he was playing, because it's it would be the same criteria, surely. What were you judging him on when he was playing?
Very simple. I judge him on whether he does what he's asked to do. The simple example is when Wan-Bissaka plays and people say, "Oh, this guy doesn't go forward, he doesn't assist, he doesn't do this." I don't judge him on that because nobody has asked him to do that.
Yeah.
Trent is supposed to, the way Liverpool play and the way him and Robertson go forward, that's their game. That's what everybody expects.
I've heard you say that he's a whack defender.
He doesn't.
I heard you say
As a defender, he is whack.
so. That's a judgment, right? That he's a whack defender.
Yeah, but he
What
does.
he's supposed to do.
But he still, yes, it's because he does the same thing. Because he does what he does for the team doesn't mean he's not a whack defender. Everybody knows.
But you made a judgment, though, right?
Everybody knows he can't defend as well as he goes forward.
Right.
So, but whether I don't judge him saying, do you think? Oh, I say he's a whack defender. You still think I won't play him for Liverpool? I'll play him for Liverpool because he fits the best what they want him to do. Will I play him for Man United? Probably not, because I know. The way we're conceding goals now, we need people that can defend. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of Grassroot Chats. We'll see you soon.
Come on.